Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Arsenal are in their red and white shirts and white shorts. Real Madrid are in their change outfit. They're in all grey. As our referee is Irfan Pielto from Bosnia, who's just checking with his fourth official that they're ready to go, but his whistle is in his mouth. This is BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds Up, and we are underway for the first of 3 nights of live European action, and what a cracker to get us underway. Arsenal against the European champions Real Madrid. Arsenal, who were unbeaten in the first leg of all of their 7 previous Champions League quarter-finals, against a Real Madrid side who have progressed in all 7 Champions League quarter-finals against England. Might not necessarily give tonight, but it will in a week's time, as Mbappe shoots from distance in a central area, right-footed. Bounced a couple of times before it reached David Raya, but there was an early warning sign from Kylian Mbappe, who incidentally has scored 10 goals in 16 Champions League games against English opposition.
Unbelievable, isn't it? The numbers this guy puts up. But I just love coming and watching these Champions League games. We all think that it's about the football and the technical ability. I tell you what, the work rate, the physicality, the way this game started, it went back. Real Madrid launched it long into Alaba at the left-back position, running forward to win the header, smashes it down. It's so physical, and it's about that ability to fight and scrap and do the ugly things. This Champions League football's very much about that this season, and it really is shown here this evening.
Ødegaard, against his former club, runs forward towards Saka. What an ovation he got against Fulham a week ago. He actually said himself yesterday, you had to be inside the stadium to appreciate it. There was just so much love and warmth as Lewis Skelly is fouled, and Arsenal get a free kick forward of the centre circle as they play from left to right as we look here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We'll also keep you in touch with 5 Live final score, which is available on the red button, the iPlayer and the BBC Sport app, with the goals as they've gone in around the country, as Saka encouraged to run at Alaba to Ødegaard, lays it off towards Timber, rolls it back down the line to Ødegaard. Timber goes as a decoy run on the overlap, then complains to Ødegaard that he wasn't utilised, and then Ødegaard tries to thread it through towards Saka on the edge of the penalty area. Modric, his clearance goes straight to Ødegaard, wasn't expecting it, and there is Bellingham as a challenge comes in on Bellingham from Timber, and Arsenal win the ball down, and Modric chops down Saka, right corner of the area. Free kick to Arsenal. Middlesbrough 0 leads 1, Blackburn 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Chesterfield 0, Gillingham 1, Bolton 0, Rotherham 1, Mansfield lead Leyton Orient by a goal to 0 in League 1.
Well, that tackle from Timber on Bellingham really has got the crowd up. What a challenge it was. Bellingham didn't see him coming. He came along the side and just absolutely smashed into him, won the ball. Bellingham goes to ground, and then I think it's Saka just drives with it and draws the foul, and they've got a free kick wide now. It's about 5 or 6 yards just wide of the corner of the 18-yard box, and Martin Ødegaard standing over the ball with his left foot ready to whip this one in. First big challenge for Real Madrid in the set-piece department.
Yes, an early chance for Arsenal now to test Real Madrid. They've got 2 in the wall. Courtois is poised. There are 4 Arsenal players who now make a run in from that far side. Ødegaard hits it in low, but it was cleared up in the air, and now a break could be on here. And it's Vinicius Junior, and he's streaking forward and he's running into space, and he's carried the ball into the penalty area, and then he hit it with such pace with the outside of his right boot, took a big deflection off Saliba, and actually that was a wicked deflection. In the end, Raya had to make sure he was well positioned.
Yeah, he was just trying to feed it into the path of Mbappe, who'd made a lightning fast break over the far side. Saliba actually does really well. It's a poor mistake from Partey to give the ball away, but he doesn't commit Saliba. He just forces the hand of Vinicius Junior to actually have to make a decision, holds his position and gets a good deflection on the ball.
I mentioned that Leeds United had taken the lead at the Riverside. News of it from Rob Law.
Perfect start, 2 minutes in. Manor Solomon with a low cross into the area, bundled in by Dan James. It's Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
Birmingham City could be promoted tonight in League One. There's been a goal at London Road. Nathan Alban.
They're on their way, Ian. Birmingham with a 1-goal lead here at Peterborough. Cross from the left, Alfie May heading in via the crossbar. Peterborough 0, Birmingham 1.
And Preston lead Cardiff by a goal to 0 in the Championship. Cardiff, who are struggling, but Preston going very, very well at home. Arsenal 0-0 here against Real Madrid. BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. We're in the 5th minute, and there's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal on that left-hand side that Miles Lewis-Skelly will just eventually wander forward to take.
There's been a couple of loose passes early in this game, hasn't there? A couple of little mistakes on the ball from both teams.
In it goes, cut out by Camavinga, volleyed away by Camavinga. Kivior, though, is closed down on Mbappe. Ødegaard spreads it out towards Saka. Saka with a chance to run. Right side of the area, plays it in low, nobody there! And in the end, it actually came off an outstretched leg of Rudiger, and it's skewed behind for a corner kick. We'll quickly nip to Sheffield United, Tom Gale.
Ball up 8 yards out, turns and smashes their first attempt on goal. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
Now that is an upset for Sheffield United. They've only lost back-to-back games once all season. They were beaten at Oxford at the weekend, but here it's 0-0. And Saka waits to take the corner kick. Takes his time. Takes one deep breath. Shoulders now drop. In it goes. In swinger. Courtois. Awkward one for him.
Wow.
Had to punch it behind for another corner.
I mean, I'm looking at the position of Real Madrid, and that doesn't look comfortable to me at all. I mean, they're very zonal. Arsenal players, Partey, Saliba, Timber, all dropping beyond the back of the 6-yard box line, and they make this lovely little kind of run in unison, but they're on the move attacking the ball, and as a standing defender, you're a sitting duck in that situation.
Again, stuttering run up from Saka. Another left-footed corner kick in towards the near post. Real Madrid get it away, but again, that was hearts in mouth time for the European champions. Now Vinicius Junior in field, helped on its way by Mbappe. Out towards Rodrigo over on that far side, the right, playing from right to left. And the Arsenal supporters, as Real Madrid go back with Camavinga, now towards Modric. The Real Madrid captain out towards Alaba. They will try and slow it down as Modric just inside the Arsenal half. Another goal in Belgium, Flo Pollock.
England have a goal back. Bethany from the penalty spot. Belgium 3, England 1.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Vinicius Junior still at a walking pace for Real Madrid. Gets the ball back there from Bellingham, and then Modric hits the ball over the top, and Raya gathers that ball before it can reach Mbappe. Another goal at London Road, Nathan Alban.
And it's an equaliser for Peterborough. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 1. Corner from the right. Fell for Kwame Poku, edge of the penalty area, slammed it into the net. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 1.
0-0 in the Champions League. Tomorrow night we're live in Paris. Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa. Lyon, Manchester United in the Europa League quarter-finals on Thursday night. You'll hear here on 5 Live as Rice wanders across towards that far side, the left. Just in from the touchline. Real Madrid, even Mbappe coming back to help out now. Back it goes out towards Martinelli now on the left-hand side. Lewis-Skelly, forward ball, Rice unmarked with a cutback off the body of Asensio, and now Valverde picks it up for Real Madrid. Mbappe able to turn, skips over the challenge of Ødegaard, and he's away, is Mbappe. He's got Alaba and Vinicius Junior to this near side, the left. Alaba touches the ball to Vinicius Junior, runs forward, delivers a cross, but in the end it goes over the angle of that near post and out for a goal kick, and it remains 0-0, 8.5 minutes played.
Yeah, he was never going to really wrap his foot around that one. Vinicius Junior at full tilt on his left foot, trying to cross the ball, just strikes it very flat and clean, but always rising high and over to the back post. But Arsenal started well here. They're a really positive start from the home team, been aggressive, been first to the ball, and a couple of set pieces that really, looking at the replay, I think Thomas Partey was unsighted on that last one. It was landing right on his head. Any kind of contact in the near post, the ball would have been in the back of the net. That, for me, is their biggest threat in this game, Arsenal.
Set pieces, they've already had a couple of corners early doors as well. They've had a free kick, but it remains goalless as we tick our way into the 10th minute. Luka Modric, by the way, he first played Arsenal for Dinamo Zagreb in 2006, 34 days before Lewis Skelly was born.
What a player. You know, you run out of kind of compliments, really, don't you, for how he plays the game, the shape he keeps himself in, and the ability to still maintain that at this level is just remarkable.
Yeah, this is his 48th appearance of the season for somebody who is 39 and still as good as ever. Ødegaard, who still remains the youngest ever player for Real Madrid during his time there, 16 years and 157 days when he made his debut against Getafe in 2015, which incidentally was Carlo Ancelotti's final game in his first spell in charge, as Martinelli sends over a cross and Alaba is tucked in at left back. Mbappe tried to play it early to Vinicius Junior. That was an important block by Saliba, because otherwise Vinicius Junior could have been away. That's always the danger. You can never switch off.
Those two are just on it, Deno, I have to say. You know, if that ball's bouncing, they've got a real understanding, and guess what? It's all about pace, isn't it? They know each other so well. They know how lightning quick each player is, and whenever they've got a chance to get to the ball first, even if they're hooking it over the top, over the fullback into the space, it's just big trouble for Arsenal at that point.
Alaba back towards Rudiger, floats the ball forward. Timber, though, steps forward and gets there before Vinicius Junior, and will get a throw for Arsenal on this near side. The assistant referee, I thought for a minute, was waiting to see what the referee was going to tell him to do, but he was having a good old ponder, and in the end he raised his right arm and the flag went up for an Arsenal throw as they play from left to right 11 minutes into this game in the Champions League. You can see the Real Madrid supporters celebrating on the far side, you just can't hear them. They filled that bottom quadrant with their white shirts. Timber stumbles but then goes to ground. Camavinga,
that's a dive.
There was no foul, and the referee had a good view of that. It was a dive, goal kick.
It looked a dive, didn't it? Timber trying to buy the foul, very direct. He started the game, he's going at players, he's running at people with the ball, which I don't mind. It's a little bit clumsy at times, but I don't mind it because it actually really does cause problems for defenders, and Camavinga does put his arms around Timber, but then he just collapses to the floor in a heap under very little pressure.
What was it Carlo Ancelotti said yesterday? He said knowledge and experience means that we're not afraid to play these type of games, and their record would bear fruit when it comes to this sort of stage of the Champions League campaign. You know, they might have finished 11th in the league phase, but they've got the know-how, the expertise, haven't they, to see themselves through when it comes to the knockout stages.
It's just like they start the competition in like, okay, yeah, all right, you know, in that kind of mode, and then by the time you get to the quarterfinals, you know, they really do turn it on.
Lewis Skelly drops his shoulder away from Rodrigo. Rice helps it out towards Martinelli. Martinelli attacking down towards the byline, plays it back in. Merino pulls it back. Partey spilled by Courtois. He hit it low right-footed. It was straight at the former Chelsea goalkeeper. But again, promising signs for Arsenal, and the Arsenal fans respond to it as well.
Well, it may have been straight at Courtois, but I tell you what, that went through a lot of bodies to get there. That could have took a ricochet or a little nick off anyone's foot or ankle. Luckily for Courtois, he was right along the line of the ball, but really good play from Arsenal. Very direct, very positive. Martinelli running at Valverde, who you feel he will have, you know, the beating for pace if he gets the right side of him.
13 appearances against Real Madrid for the former Atletico Madrid player Thomas Partey. Only had 2 successes during that time, but you certainly got the impression that if it was either side, and hold on, there is a potential penalty check for a VAR at the moment, so the corner kick that Modric waits to take away towards our left-hand side, there is a delay. Would that be, it's at the other end, a potential handball against Asensio?
That's ridiculous after what I've just seen on there. I mean, that's unbelievable as even being looked at, to be honest. I mean, Asensio is in a position, yes, the ball strikes his arm, but it's not even a yard away from him, and his arm is down by his side. I mean,
Bastian Dankert is the VAR official. So we've got a Bosnian referee, but a German VAR official.
It's crossed from Martinelli. Rice gets there first, side foots the ball, but Asensio is a yard away with his arm down by his side, and the ball does hit it, but he's just blocking the ball. It's
but also
perfectly normal.
What is he, a yard away from him?
Not even that. I don't even think it's a yard.
They must have dismissed it, because there's a referee's whistle for Real Madrid, corner kick at the other end.
Crazy.
Although there's some pushing and shoving. I should just warn you, though, that this referee, Irfan Pialto from Bosnia, no referee has awarded more penalties in the Champions League this season than him.
They've got to sort the handball out in this competition, I have to say. It's hard. The Premier League's miles ahead of the UEFA rules when it comes to handball.
Modric with a corner kick for Real Madrid, punched away by David Raya. Mikel Arteta says, get those red and white shirts out, as Camavinga puts his left foot on the ball just outside the centre circle. Almost showed Valverde short there as Martinelli was prepared to nip in. Mbappe now comes in off that right touchline. Mbappe reaches the right corner of the area, out towards Rodrigo. Little flick there by Mbappe, went behind Bellingham, forced Bellingham a little bit further wide right than he maybe would have liked. Valverde, who's filling in because Carvajal as well as Militao, they're both out with ACLs, something that's really blighted Real Madrid in the last couple of years. 15 minutes played, 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live with exclusive live radio commentary here in the Emirates. Camavinga to Modric, former Tottenham player. Camavinga back out towards Valverde. Rudiger waits inside the centre circle. And Arsenal once again have just pushed Real Madrid a little bit further out, but by doing so, and they've squeezed up the pitch, you then leave that vast expanse of area for somebody like a Vinicius Junior or Mbappe to run into. It's almost as if they are maybe trying to draw Arsenal out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of this controlled possession. I think that it's just a matter of getting the balance right, to be honest, and Arsenal getting after the ball but not leaving too much space in. You're going to rely a lot on your midfield players. If they can get pressure on the ball, get the player's head down as a defender, it just gives you much more time and power to get your position right, so you can not be too high or not be too deep.
Rudiger, notice that his left leg is actually heavily strapped underneath those grey shorts of his. Played all the ball back to Courtois. He's actually missed the last 3 games with a muscle injury. His last match was against his compatriot Lunin in the opposite goal when Spain played Ukraine. When Belgium played Ukraine, as Rudiger helps it out towards this to Alaba. Himself has only made a 12th appearance of the season after coming back from an ACL injury, and Saka couldn't keep the ball in play on this near side, the right. So they do have defensive frailties, I think. You know, they have fitness concerns in defence.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 2, like you say, big white strappings on Rudiger and Alaba's knee. And you look at that and think, well, if Arsenal can push them hard physically, get amongst them, which they are doing in the start of this game. I mean, the thought of Arsenal dropping off and being cagey hasn't happened. They really have tried to squeeze and win the ball and put Real Madrid under pressure. They've done it really well.
No other goals to tell you about on an important night, particularly in the Championship, but Burnley, the leaders, still drawing 0-0 away at Derby County. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1, but third place Leeds United are leading at Middlesbrough by a goal to 0. Alaba from left back, infield to Mbappe, lays it off and it goes a long way back to Modric, who was adjudged to have been fouled by Ødegaard. The 2 captains coming together. Ødegaard complains to the Bosnian referee. Free kick to Real Madrid. Half-time in Belgium, Flo Pollock.
Half-time, Belgium 3, England 1. A shocking result so far from England. Conceded 3 goals. They got a goal back through Beth Mead from the penalty spot. Half-time, though, Belgium 3, England 1.
Thank you, Flo. Commentary, that is on Sports Extra. Sorry, Matt.
No, I was just saying it's much better from Ødegaard. The pressure that he put on there onto Modric is going to have to really do that quickly, but when he does squeeze the ball, it's great.
Lewis Skelly looks for the run of Martinelli. Asensio comes across, makes good ground, slides in, well-timed challenge inside the penalty area. Out it goes for a throw, and then from that throw, pulled back. Thomas Partey runs down the left side of the penalty area. Modric can run it clear. Challenge comes in from Declan Rice. The Arsenal supporters are up for it. They are creating a frenzied atmosphere.
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it? I mean, it's good to see Raul Asensio centre-back for Real Madrid in the flesh for the first time. A lot of talk around him as a top young centre-back, top player in the Real Madrid team, looking very good, very much a defender. A couple of times he's dealt with the ball, it's no nonsense. gets there, puts it in the third tier of the stand, or goes to ground and wins the ball, is very much an out-and-out defender.
Shrewsbury, bottom of League One, without a win in 11, have fallen behind to playoff chasing Reading. Shrewsbury 0, Reading 1 is the latest score. Courtois has the ball at his feet inside his 6-yard area. He plays the ball to Asensio. He's only 22 years of age. It's his breakthrough season in the Real Madrid first team, and indeed he was on the bench for Spain in their recent game against the Netherlands. Back it goes to Courtois. Arsenal looking to try and close down high. Ødegaard looking to press now against Rudiger. Back it goes to Courtois. The Arsenal captain will run towards Courtois, who clears it long downfield. Kiwior chests the ball into the path of Lewis Skelly. Think about the rise of Miles Lewis Skelly in the last 12 months.
Well, we watched him at Wembley, didn't we? Play for England in that time.
This forward ball, Rice lays it off. Camavinga, was there a foul there on Merino? No, says the referee. Camavinga now threads it through, cut out though by Partey. Ødegaard picks it up. Now, was he fouled this time? Oh, wow. I thought that one was by Camavinga. Rudiger now brings it away. The referee's letting a lot go there. That did look like a foul. Should have been a free kick to Arsenal. Out towards Rodrigo, coming in off now the right touchline, edge of the area. Mbappe onto his left boot, hits it now to Vinicius Junior inside the penalty area, goes for the curler, right-footed wide. Arteta complains to the fourth official. I think he's got good reason.
I agree. If that had gone in, that would not have been well received around this ground at all. Vinicius Junior tries a cheeky little early effort with his right foot, this time coming inside just to try and bend it into the far post, but for me it looked a foul from Camavinga on Ødegaard. He'd got the wrong side of him, he was running alongside him, he clipped his heels or just tripped him in some way. The referee was in a great position, just didn't fancy it as a foul, but certainly looked like that from here.
Saliba back with Timber, goes square once again then for Saliba, who edges his way towards the centre circle. BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's still 0-0. Another goal at London Road, Nathan Alban.
Birmingham back in front, Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2. Taylor Gardner-Hickman squeezing it in at the near post under Bilokovic. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2.
And that would mean promotion to the Championship for Birmingham City as Ødegaard towards Saka. Saka into Merino, and there was Asensio who will just cover and clear it down the line to Bellingham, and Bellingham infield to Rudiger on the edge of his own penalty area, but his forward ball, and Saliba will let it run out of play for a throw that Arteta will actually just toss quickly into the hands of Saliba, and Arsenal take that throw quickly on this near side, the right. But the quality of the two teams, every time they pick it up in and around the opposing penalty area, you think something could happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic quality that there, that how slick Arsenal were from Ødegaard into Saka on the move and on the turn as well, so he's kind of took it on the swivel on his back foot while he's rotating forwards and then nearly slipping the ball into Merino. You just feel with Arsenal, when it gets in that central area though, Denham, it's not quite got that cutting edge, is it? I mean, I know around it has some real quality in terms of finishing, but it's just lacking that real potent feel that Real Madrid have.
It's like when we heard from Manuel, the Spanish journalist who joined us before, when he was speaking to Kelly, you know, how Merino will do in that area as a makeshift striker. Somebody who, of course, has endeared himself to Spain. I remember the goal that he scored against Germany in the Euro. Yes, it was.
And you see him do that for Arsenal, don't you? That is a big tick in the box. That wide in the air, I'll back him all the day. It's that little strikery poacher stuffing in around the box on the floor that, you know, top strikers really do benefit from.
Here is Mbappe. Mbappe into the penalty area, and he shoots narrowly over the top of the crossbar. Late flag. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Flag is now raised over on that far side. And indeed, that goal we're talking about, that was a quarter-final in Stuttgart.
It was. It was a big goal, and it was a big header. And that there, to me, looked a big offside. I mean, the flag goes up late. It's a mistake from Arsenal with the ball, but it was comfortably offside from Mbappe. But the assistant kept his flag down, waited for the shot to go over the crossbar.
But Timber wasn't to know that, and Timber kept on running. And after the shot, Mbappe collides into Timber, and Timber has actually stayed down inside the penalty area. So there is a stoppage in play, treatment to the Arsenal right back. It remains Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 0. 24 minutes played. What about tonight's other quarter-final? Maz Farouki.
Goalless in Munich, Ian, but decent opportunities for both sides. Inter's Hakan Çalhanoğlu with a strike blocked at one end before that. Elise had a shot deflected just wide of the left-hand post at the other, and he set up Harry Kane as well, with the England captain headed straight at the Inter keeper. We have played 24 minutes in Munich. It is 0-0.
Sheffield Wednesday have got a second goal at Ewood Park in the Championship. Blackburn 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Mansfield Town 1, Leyton Orient 1 is the latest score in League One. Timber is on his feet, but doesn't look like he's going to continue. Let's get an update from the Riverside, Rob Law.
And it's still Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1. Borough did have the ball in the back of the net through Tommy Conway, but he was offside. Still Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1.
So Leeds third, 82 points. Second place, Sheffield United on 83, behind against Millwall by a goal to nil. Burnley top, 84. This is before today, still drawing 0-0 at Derby.
This is frustrating me, looking at Timber. It really is, because he just didn't need to be in that situation. To me, that was an obvious offside. Get your flag up, and then players don't sprint and hurtle towards the ball and put challenges in like that when they don't need to. It's so frustrating to now see him. I think he's struggling.
Well, he's not running freely as he comes down the touchline. He's still not back on the field of play. Fourth official is telling him he's got to wait because of the treatment that he's had. So temporarily Arsenal are down to 10. Lewis Skelly pops up right side of the centre circle, the Arsenal left back, and then makes a diagonal run. And Timber now is back on the field of play as Arsenal get it out towards Saka, this near right hand side. Still goalless. Saka waits, goes on the outside, then on the inside, and his cross comes off the knee of Camavinga and is picked up by Courtois.
I think Alaba does quite well with his distance there. He's measured that quite nicely so far against Saka. He's close enough but not getting too close, and he looks like he can match his movement quite well.
Mbappe picks the ball up in the centre circle, out towards Rodrigo, drives forward, but Saliba, and then they lose the ball. That was Rodrigo winning it back for Real Madrid over on that far side. Here is Mbappe. Mbappe to the edge of the area. Partey's having an effective game for Arsenal in the midfield. He helps snuff him out then. Loose ball goes back towards Modric. Modric along the ground. Mbappe lays it off out towards Rodrigo, far side the right. Still 0-0 here on 5 Live. 30 yards out from goal. Real Madrid seeing a lot of the ball at this stage. Bellingham gets a touch. Camavinga. In fact, every outfield player now is in the Arsenal half away towards our left. And here is Vinicius Junior. They slow it down. Alaba left back towards Rudiger. As Ødegaard runs towards him, he switches it out towards Valverde on the right. His diagonal ball in field. And Rodrigo will get a touch. And Modric, this is where he wants to orchestrate things, does Luka Modric, the 39-year-old. Capped an incredible 186 times by Croatia. Ben White and Tierney are warming up. The ball is played forward and Saliba nicks it away from Bellingham. Timber running a little bit more freely now, finds Ødegaard. Saka's just ahead of him. Camavinga though with the interception. Real Madrid are back in possession.
Yeah, weren't quite quick enough releasing the ball there, Ødegaard. Saka had made the move inside. Camavinga read it really well. But I have to say, Arsenal doing a nice job of being very solid through the midfield. They're pressing well as a group, and then Thomas Partey's just screening the centre-backs really well.
Ball was played by Valverde at right back, looking for the run of Mbappe. Raya again was alert to it. Rice knocks it now to Lewis Skelly. Partey left of the centre circle, and now to Timber on this near side, inside the Real Madrid half. And he goes back from Bellingham. Saliba. His forward ball. Merino comes short just outside the centre circle, holds on to the ball and does well. And then Partey strokes it out towards Saka on this near side the right. He's encouraged by the supporters around us. There was a couple of go on, but he didn't go on the outside of him, but he gets the ball back now and he's level with the penalty area. And to Ødegaard, nice roll away from Camavinga, but Camavinga just got a foot into the challenge. Back to Bayern Inter, Maz Farouki.
Harry Kane has hit the right post. Bayern so close to the opening goal. Elise doing wonderfully once again in the build-up, but it is still Bayern 0, Inter 0.
Arteta has just told the crowd just to keep going, wants them to keep up the atmosphere as well. They're going to need their supporters tonight here at Arsenal. This is a test against the European champions, regardless what Opta's supercomputer might tell you.
The Deno supercomputer shows more important than the Opta one, isn't it? It's more knowledgeable.
Oh, I don't know about that. Here is Kiwior to Saliba.
Camavinga's had a good game so far. And the question that was raised, certainly with Manuel before and Andros, about Modric's ability to physically get around the pitch. Well, Camavinga is doing the work of 2 men at times. He really is stopping and breaking up a lot of play. It's very hard to get past 1v1. I think Odegaard's finding that really difficult.
He's filled in at left back on a few occasions this season too, the French international, now in his 4th season at Real Madrid, showing his versatility. But as we approach the half hour on BBC Radio 5 Live, it remains 0-0. And Declan Rice unable to keep the ball in play. There's a fascinating backstory between Saliba and Mbappe. They were both raised in the same suburb in northeastern Paris.
Yeah.
And Mbappe's father, Wilfred, actually coached Saliba for a time.
Right.
So when they're coming up against each other head to head, they actually played back in the playground.
They would have kicked around with each other.
Yeah.
Put the jumpers down. Bit rush goalkeeper. Remember them days, didn't I?
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded Mbappe being my rush goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Here is Alaba to Vinicius just inside the Real Madrid half. His pass though to Mbappe goes astray. Saliba was there or thereabouts just to break it up. Timber loses out to Bellingham, snaps away at the heels of Bellingham, but he wriggles free, and now he looks for that ball in round the back, and here is Mbappe. Mbappe's in the penalty area. Raya makes the save. Brilliant goalkeeping by David Raya, and the Arsenal supporters in front of us rise to their feet, and now he throws it out towards Rice. These two sides still slugging it out. Martinelli now runs forward at pace, far side the left, still goalless. Level the penalty area, edges his way towards the area, goes on the outside of Valverde with the cross. Rudiger heads the ball up, Courtois catches it.
Wow, 2 really good pieces of attacking play from either team. It's like you have a pop at us and we'll have a pop at you. And the Arsenal for the first time just got exposed there. Bellingham with a lovely pass, but the run from Mbappe was unbelievable. The timing and the speed of it.
Desperate defending by Timber. Comes to Mbappe, shown on the inside, right-footed, passes the ball short. Rodrigo in the penalty area, his cross takes a deflection. No word of a lie, you cannot take your eye off this game for a moment.
No, it's very open at the moment. And I think it will be like that. It kind of has lulls, doesn't it, where, OK, we'll keep a bit of possession, it'll go slow, and then bang, it's quick. And certainly with Real Madrid, with the way they play, the runs that Mbappe makes, he got him behind that one time. Kiwior struggled to stay with him. Really good save from Raya. But what I loved about Arsenal's reaction was he picked the ball up, got his head up Raya, and thought, right, how can we hurt Real Madrid quickly? Because they're high up the pitch. Pings it out to Martinelli, then he's having a go. And I think that just stretches the game and really makes it much more entertaining.
Interesting there, as Real Madrid have got this corner kick on the right-hand side. Odegaard was desperate to get the attention of the set-piece coach of Arsenal, Nicolas Jover, just to see who he should be picking up. He's gone with Rodrigo. In comes the corner. It's a disappointing one from that far side. It was volleyed away by Saka, and Mikel Arteta, still in that animated way of his, patrols that technical area with his black shoes, his black trousers, his black jacket matching that of his hair, as we have 13 minutes to go to half-time. Meanwhile, Carlo Ancelotti not pacing as much, but he is chewing that gum ferociously as ever, as Partey loses out to Bellingham, the 2 number 5s. Bellingham goes square, Mbappe drives forward, out towards Vinicius Junior, penalty area left-hand side. Vinicius Junior with a cross, headed away by Saliba. Mbappe though wins the ball back, takes it away from Odegaard, drops his shoulder, but then dispossessed by Merino, and there was a foul there by Mbappe. Now did Mbappe just kick out?
No.
Or did he look to go and kick out?
Yeah, it looked like he threatened it, and then it actually didn't follow through. It was Merino, wasn't it, laying on the floor? It's out of frustration. He really does look up for it, I have to say. Yes. Mbappe, he's all over this game at the moment. Yeah,
it was just a bit of frustration. The referee's just had a word in his ear. Bramall Lane, Sheffield United Millwall, Tom Gale.
Half-time, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. As it stands, host dropping out of the automatic places. Coburn thumping home Millwall's only effort on target. Half-time, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
Here is Odegaard. Odegaard out towards Saka on this near side, the right. They've doubled up on Saka. Infield towards Odegaard. Ødegaard looks to try and deliver the cross left-footed. Can't. Passes the ball back towards Saka. Can Saka deliver the ball? No, he plays it short. Then back towards Saka. The two still combining. Saka under pressure. Partey, 30 yards out from goal. Arsenal retain possession. They had to go away from the penalty area though. Timber midway through the Real Madrid half. Triangular passing patterns from Arsenal. Now Arsenal have every outfield player in the Real Madrid half, and we've got just over 10 minutes to go to the break as Martinelli tries to come forward. Half-time at Derby, Lee Blakeman.
Derby 0, Burnley 0. Derby ending the half strongest, but Burnley with the game's best chance. Fleming 12 yards out, great take, powerful shot, brilliant save Zetterstrom to keep it at Derby 0, Burnley 0.
And with Leeds United, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff at Middlesbrough, leading by a goal to nil, it means that Leeds United will go top on goal difference over Burnley. They'll both be 2 points clear of Sheffield United as it currently stands. Here is Declan Rice on that far side. He tries to deliver the cross. He's kept in play. Martinelli now has it down by the corner flag. Still, they beaver away. But Rodrigo dispossesses him. Modric with a little nonchalant flick to his right, and Valverde hoists it away downfield. Oh. Nice touch there by Vinicius Junior. Uses his strength to hold off Timber. Oh, again, I didn't think that Timber did much wrong there. Vinicius Junior quick to go to ground, and he gets a free kick. Fortunate.
Yeah, I think the referee is not endearing himself to the Emirates faithful, is he? A couple of decisions he's made haven't gone Arsenal's way. The foul on Ødegaard from Camavinga, that for me was a definite one, and that there, he barely touches him there, Timber. He gets nice and tight, he bumps him, he does all the things that you'd think the contact that's acceptable in the game, and then Vinicius falls to the floor, bang, the whistle gets blown and wins a free kick. But what a pass from Valverde and the touch from Vinicius to make that happen. It was lovely, wasn't it?
The other half-time scores in the Championship: no goals at Bristol City against West Brom, Norwich Sunderland, Stoke against Luton, Watford Hull, or Derby Burnley as we know. Blackburn 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Preston lead Cardiff by a goal to nil, and that gives you the half-time picture in the Championship. Real Madrid on that far side, the right. We've got 9 minutes to go to half-time. Been a captivating game, really has. 36 minutes played then. Modric gets the ball back, lifts his right arm aloft. The Real Madrid captain inside the centre circle, and at the minute they're playing in front of Arsenal as Camavinga almost dispossessed by Merino. Rudiger sprays the ball out towards that far side, but excellent defending by Lewis Skelly. Partey links up with Martinelli. Martinelli to Merino. Passes the ball out now to Declan Rice. Arsenal working it nicely down the pitch. Martinelli had made a run in behind Valverde, but Rice opts to play the ball out to this near side, the right, and now Ødegaard runs forward. Saka's on the touchline. Here he is, level with the penalty area. Rice had made a run into the penalty area. Saka holds on to the ball. Saka plays it in. Oh! Nobody got the touch. Nobody gambled. Valverde should clear. That was such a wicked ball in.
That's the moment, isn't it? That is the moment for Arsenal in this first half. To tap one in at the back post at this stage would have been absolutely magnificent for the home crowd. I mean, Saka, for the first time in this game, really does get the better of his opponent. I think it was Bellingham, wasn't it, who ended up with him 1v1. Goes on the outside with his right foot and fizzes it all the way across the face of the goal. That is where your centre forward, who picks up an instinctive position, scores. That is the moment where a centre forward in that position will know that back post area, and they'll just tap that in at the back post.
Martinelli, left-hand side, tries to get away from Valverde, snaps into the challenge and wins the ball. Rodrigo picks it up, but he's still deep inside his own half, back towards Modric. But when you say that is the moment, Matt, you know, when you're at this stage of the competition, we're talking fine margins.
Absolutely. It's those moments that define your future in the competition.
0-0 here, but there has been a goal in Munich. Masfarouki.
Well, how about this? Against the run of play, Bayern have had the better chances, but they trail. Inter ahead. Lautaro Martinez powering the Serie A side in front. Bayern 0, Inter 1.
They've only conceded 2 goals throughout the Champions League campaign. That is by far the most impressive. Arsenal have only conceded 6, but Inter are a serious side, and the winners of that will play the winners of Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund. Peterborough, Birmingham in League One. Nathan Elvin.
Birmingham on course for promotion tonight. 2-1 they lead here at Peterborough. Alfie May and Gardner Hickman either side of a Poku leveller. Champagne on ice, half-time. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2.
Bellingham out to Alaba on this near side. Vinicius Junior goes to Rodrigo. And Real Madrid again will pass the ball into the centre circle. The other important game in League One involves Wickham. They're at Huddersfield. Nikesh Regani.
Whereas Huddersfield 0, Wickham 0, two sides pushing for promotion. Both had a couple of decent chances early on. Ben Wiles missing an absolute sitter for the home side, but there's been a real lack of quality so far. It's Huddersfield 0, Wickham 0.
And in fact is Wickham's game in hand on Wrexham, who they trailed 6 points ahead of the game in West Yorkshire. 0-0 it remains here in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. Courtois clears long. Bellingham is underneath it. Timber, though, beats him in the air. That bouncing ball laid off by a leaping Rice to Partey. Now Saka on the right side. Over the halfway line. Alaba backpedals. He's wanting some support here. He's actually asking Camavinga to come and double up on Saka. They now work the ball behind Alaba. Saka is there, and he's pulled it behind Martinelli, who was making a run at the far post. Not for the first time. Arsenal will bemoan the lack of a natural centre-forward.
Well, it's just great play, great understanding. I thought Saka was going to go it alone, but he lends the ball inside the pitch to Odegaard. Looks disinterested, then makes a darting little run in behind Alaba. Typical Martin Odegaard, feeds the ball perfect weight of pass, and just nobody on the end of it, coming in at the back post. Martinelli just too far ahead of the ball.
Here is Timber, edge of the area, just loses it. Camavinga passes the ball forward. Kivior was quickly into the challenge against Mbappe, who went to ground. Bosnian referee, who's yet to show a yellow card, will just call the Polish defender towards him. Maybe a little bit too tight on Mbappe. But with 4 minutes to go at half-time, get the ball to Saka.
I don't think he touches Mbappe. I think Kivior just goes in tight. I've just had a look at the slow motion replay. Doesn't touch him. I mean, it's nothing in it at all. I think they've been a bit hard done by with decisions, Arsenal. He's right on top of that as well, the referee.
Yes. Here is Rodrigo running back inside his own half and accelerating, and he passes the ball left-footed over the top, looking for the run of Mbappe, but Mbappe wasn't chasing that.
You don't know the referee at all, do you?
No, I don't know.
I know how you like to branch out sometimes and get to know the official.
I haven't branched out to Bosnia just as yet. Here is Arsenal in possession with Lewis. There is time. We've got 3.5 minutes to go to half-time. Here is Timber. Here's the one last chance for Saka to test Alaba. As Arsenal go back. Saliba right of the centre circle. Odegaard now has Bellingham close by. Odegaard back towards Timber. You can certainly see the respect, though, that Real Madrid have for Arsenal.
I think Arsenal edging this first half. Madrid have had a couple of moments, but Arsenal on the whole have been really impressive. Really good first half showing so far.
First time we can hear Spanish voices as Real Madrid will try and break with Vinicius Junior. Partey again, though, his game management, his awareness. He has been very effective in that midfield. He sensed the danger.
2 or 3, maybe even 4 good interceptions, and just sniffing things out when they go wide. I think he gives fullbacks such good protection. He sees it developing, certainly against a player like Vinicius. He thinks, oh, I'll just drop in that hole, because he's not the paciest, is he? If it gets into a foot race, he's in trouble against Vinicius, but he's reading of the game. He's a couple of steps ahead, and he just makes it look easy.
188 appearances he played for Atletico Madrid, the Ghanaian. As Timber to Saka, near side the right, playing from left to right as we look. Timber will go short and square. Partey side on. Camavinga approaches him. Saliba, Kivior along the ground. Declan Rice back pedals, 30 yards out from goal. Short. Lewis Skelly back towards Rice. Martinelli's gone infield on the edge of the area. Again, the red and white shirts of Arsenal are in the right-hand side as we look with 90 seconds remaining. Saliba now just comes forward. Every grey shirt back behind the ball. Kivior just trying to wait for that one opening. Having to be patient are Arsenal. Thomas Partey, Odegaard just can't wander away from Camavinga, but they do get it out towards Saka. And Saka, and here is Bellingham helping out Alaba, infield to Partey, he goes square, Lewis Skelly comes into a central area, battling for the ball, breaks back, Merino, he goes short, Partey helps it on towards Timber, promising, in comes the cross, and the header, saved by Courtois, Martinelli, Courtois again, back to his feet, he stood tall on his near post, double save from Courtois, now here's the danger at the other end, Mbappe, but Kiwior was equal to it, and helps it all the way back towards Raya. It will not go in, Courtois with a double save.
Oh, great attacking play, really good defensive play from Kiwior and David Raya there. Difficult situation to mop up that loosened ball with Mbappe breathing down your neck, but they make it look easy. Arsenal creating a great chance, moving the ball so swiftly. Lewis Skelly, Partey, Rice with the header, and two really good reaction saves from Courtois. Real Madrid under big pressure at the end of this first half.
Here is Ødegaard to Saka once again. Good spell this for Arsenal. Can they finish the half with a goal? Saka swings over the cross. Martinelli tries to get on the end of it, but it goes all the way out of play and out for a goal kick. But certainly there has been a lot to offer Mikel Arteta and to encourage the Arsenal manager.
Huge amount. Really good attacking play. It's an early cross into the box from Timber. What I like about Arsenal is they're having to be more creative. They're having to find a different way of being attacking. You know, they haven't got their first, second choice centre forward available, so they've got to find different options, and they're doing that with midfield players arriving. Rice it was that time with the header, really sharp save from Courtois, made that look quite simple, and then the follow-up from Martinelli. Some good attacking play from Arsenal.
I think that answers the questions regarding the fitness of Courtois. With that muscle injury, how quickly he sprang back to his feet to make the second save on Martinelli.
Top keeper. Big bonus for Real Madrid that he's fit and available.
Very much so, because otherwise they would have had problems, because Lunin, the number 2, is out injured as well. He was an FA Cup runner-up with Chelsea, losing to Arsenal in the final in 2017. But you look at his record against Arsenal during his time with Chelsea. 11 games, conceded 10, kept 4 clean sheets, won 3, drew 3, lost 3. But very important saves that he's made there on the stroke of half-time. 2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. Camavinga comes forward. Camavinga goes behind Rodrigo and behind Valverde. Rodrigo actually retrieves it himself midway through the Arsenal half. Now Arsenal have everybody back behind the ball. Here is Rudiger to Modric. Modric forward. Bellingham with his back to goal. Lays it back towards Camavinga. Threads it out towards Valverde. At the back of Martinelli. Valverde comes forward, right corner of the area, plays it back. Camavinga to shoot from distance, left-footed, always going away, off target, goal kick, 0-0.
Well, Arsenal will be delighted with that. They'll take shots from that kind of range, 25, 30-yard efforts on goal all day. Really good pressure. Looked like Valverde was going to cross the ball, but was reluctant to stick it in the box. Maybe such as Arsenal's ability to defend crosses doesn't really encourage Madrid to put it in there.
Well, there is the half-time whistle, and at the break it's Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 0. We had Thomas Partey shooting straight at Courtois. He's made that double save from a Rice header, and then Martinelli. And at the other end, Vinicius Junior curled one wide, and Mbappe had a shot that was saved by Raya. Your thoughts, Matthew?
Martinelli.
Yeah.
I thought it was excellent, Deno, to be honest. I thought that Arsenal were superb in the first half. I don't think they could have had a much better first half performance than what they've just delivered. Real Madrid had their moments, the pace in the attack and the counter-attack, but Arsenal on the whole really got after them, created some good opportunities with the ball, great intensity, defensively looked pretty good. Kiwior's really managed the game well, and Lewis Skelly, the area that you think would be a little bit of a dubious area, has actually looked okay, and looking good for the second half. It's been a brilliant game to watch, I have to say.
A high-quality game, just lacking a goal. But at the break, Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 0.
Ian Dennis and Matthew Upson at the Emirates for us this evening. It has been a really entertaining first half, but Matt, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if Arsenal had an out-and-out number 9 in there, this could be a very different scoreline.
Yeah, we're all thinking it, aren't we? And yeah, there isn't too much to add to it, Kelly. That is the case, and while you can have all the quality, I think the fullbacks have been good, Saka's been good, Martinelli, Ødegaard looks a bit brighter, he's linking up well with Saka, but when that ball's rolling across 5 yards out, all the way across the goal, and you haven't got that one instinctive player that just picks up the position, it's like a knack or a know-how. It's something that you kind of develop over time, an instinct. It's hard to coach almost. It's just there, and that's their role and that's their job. They just don't have that on the pitch, and whether or not that will define them in this tie, we'll have to wait and see. But it's certainly affected the first half, because I feel Arsenal could well be 1-0 up.
And that's the concern, isn't it? As well as they've done in creating all these chances, by not converting them and then looking at the quality that Real Madrid have at the other end of the pitch, and some of the opportunities that they've created and not taken, you just feel we knew this before the game, there's a real threat there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got all the hallmarks, hasn't it, of one of those games where it's going to be a really good performance for Arsenal, but you end up coming away marginally losing the game. It's got that feel to it, because you know Real Madrid, they'll have that one good opportunity in the second half, and will one of their two centre forwards take that opportunity? I think you can bank more that they're going to be clinical and they're going to make it count, and that's why they've got the record in this competition that they have.
Matthew Upson, Ian Dennis, thank you very much for now. We'll be back with both of them for the second half from the Emirates, with the score at line at Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 0 in this Champions League quarter-final first leg. The other game taking place in the Champions League this evening, Bayern Munich against Inter Milan. Maz Farouki's watching.
Well, Vincent Kompany Kelly will be hugely frustrated, because his Bayern side had the better of the first half chances in Munich, but they trail by 1-0. Inter's 9, Thuram setting up their 10, Martinez for the goal just before half-time. Before that, Kane had hit the right post with a swirling effort for Bayern after he set up by Elise, who I have to say has been sparkling in this game so far tonight. But Bayern trail at half-time in the first leg, Bayern 0 into 1.
And there's lots going on in the Championship this evening. Rob Law is at Middlesbrough against Leeds, and potentially Leeds could be top of the Championship tonight, Rob.
They could indeed. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1 at half-time. Kelly, knowing a win could lift them back into the top two. Daniel Farke's side got off to an ideal start. Mana Solomon with a low, firm cross, and Dan James was on hand to fumble the ball home after just 2 minutes. Borough settled into the game well and thought they'd equalise through Tommy Conway, but the striker was offside, and then it was Leeds' turn. But they will feel really hard done by, Kelly. They should be 2-0 up. Tanaka tapped in following a deep cross from Solomon once again, but the Japanese international was judged to be offside, only for the replays to show that he was easily onside. Of course, no VAR in the Championship. Despite that, as things stand, Leeds sit top of the table. Middlesbrough 0, Leeds 1 at the break.
And as Rob said, that's because Sheffield United are trailing at home to Millwall, and Burnley are goalless at Derby. You can keep across the rest of the scores from the EFL on the BBC Sport website. England in action in Nations League tournament with Belgium. They're in Belgium this evening, and having beaten them 5-0 on Friday, England currently trail by 3-1 after about 65 minutes. You can listen to that on Sports Extra with Flo Pollock and former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley. We're going to be live in Paris very shortly ahead of tomorrow's game between PSG and Aston Villa, and we'll be in Augusta ahead of the Masters after the BBC News with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening. US stock markets have fallen again after the White House confirmed additional tariffs will be applied to Chinese imports. President Trump has imposed 104% taxes on goods from China after Beijing announced retaliatory actions against previous US tariffs. 2 teenagers have been found guilty of the manslaughter of an 80-year-old man in Leicestershire last September. The boy, who's 15, and girl, who's 13, attacked Bim Coley while he was walking his dog. Prince Harry's been at the Court of Appeal challenging a Home Office decision to set the level of his personal security while he's in Britain on a case-by-case basis. His lawyer told the court he'd been singled out for unjustified and inferior treatment. President Zelensky claims 2 Chinese citizens have been captured while fighting for Russia in eastern Ukraine. He says they were found with Chinese documents and bank cards and demanded an explanation. China is yet to comment. And Meta is expanding its parental controls on Instagram, Facebook and Messenger. The changes mean under 16s will no longer be able to live stream on Instagram without parental permission, and certain content will not be available.
Into Walker! Walker scores! When certain opportunities come, you have to take it.
The Manchester City club captain Carl Walker has joined AC Milan on loan.
I'm Carl Walker.
And I'm Michael Brown.
And welcome to the Carl Walker podcast with me in Milan and Brownie in Manchester.
Walker charges brilliantly.
You can ask us anything about football, our careers, and about Kyle's life in Italy, or just random everyday stuff.
They're the moments that you do pinch yourself and being a kid from Sheffield.
The Kyle Walker Podcast.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport.
The Champions League with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Busy night of football on 5 Live Sport this evening. Arsenal goalless against Real Madrid at half-time at the Emirates in their Champions League quarter-final first leg. It's also, we'll keep you up to date with the game between Belgium and England in their Nations League match where Belgium lead by 3-1. In League One this evening, it's currently Bolton 0, Rotherham 1, Exeter 0, Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0, Wickham 0, Mansfield 1, Leyton Orient 1, Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2. If it stays like that, 3 points mean that Birmingham will be promoted back to the Championship at the first time of asking. And it's Shrewsbury 1, Reading 1. All of these 7:45 kickoffs, as it is in League 2, where it's currently Chesterfield 0, Gillingham 1. Let's head to Augusta as we continue our build-up to the start of this week's first major of the men's season. Alistair Bruce Ball is alongside three-time LGPA winner and 19-time Ladies European Tour winner Trish Johnson. Ali, first of all, Ian was telling us it feels very different this year and looks very different this year.
Yeah, I've had my first proper walk out on the golf course this afternoon, actually, Kelly, because I arrived yesterday, drove through some horrendous rain, the worst I've ever seen in all the time I've ever come over here. So by the time we got here yesterday, the course was closed. Classic, beautiful spring Georgia afternoon today, though. And just going out onto the golf course just reminded me, again, year after year when you come here, it looks like everything is in high definition. The colours are so vivid and so perfect, and the green of the grass is so sort of lush and verdant, and the pale blue of the sky. And we always go by the old adage, Kelly, on the 5 Live golf team, the first golfer you see in the flesh during the week on the golf course could be the winner of the Masters this week. You're never going to believe who I saw on the putting green first up. World number 1, Scotty Scheffler. The next person I see coming up the 18th fairway, world number 2, Rory McIlroy. And so many people are setting this up this week as Scheffler against McIlroy. And the support, actually, Kelly, as McIlroy came off the back of the 18th green, sort of the fans lined either side of the tunnel they'd made for him to walk back to the clubhouse. The groundswell of support for McIlroy was really noticeable, actually.
Well, he's tried so many times, hasn't he, to win this final major. Trish, I know you arrived today. We heard from Rory McIlroy a bit earlier. He sounded very calm. Could this be the year?
Well, we all hope so, Kelly, don't we? I mean, we're all longing for the McIlroy win at the Masters ever since the sort of capitulation, I suppose, in 2011. But I must say, I think this is the first time I can honestly think that he is the form horse going into this tournament. Obviously, he's won twice already this year, and he had a 6th place the last time he played in Houston. Pretty poor first round, but tremendous last sort of 3 rounds to get back into contention, which I think is all he really wanted. He just wanted to keep playing and didn't want to play last week, so he knew the course wouldn't suit the sort of golf that he wanted to play this week. And I think he's in mentally and physically as good a form as I can ever remember going into a Masters. And for the first time, Scheffler, who obviously played very, very well himself at Houston, finishing in a tie for 2nd place, but he's had one good tournament so far. So I think that it's a little bit of sort of a difference to the previous years where Scheffler has been fantastic form coming into this week. It is McIlroy that is the form horse, and hopefully that will give him the confidence to, and I think this is really important, I think he needs to go out and shoot a low number first round just to back up the confidence that we know he has. But he always seems to be chasing here. And I think if he can get that really low round, 65, 66 sort of first round, which is what he's been doing in his previous events that he's won, then we could be in for a very, very special week.
Yeah, it could be fascinating, this one. Ali, you were in Scotty Scheffler's press conference. I mean, apart from saying that it's been raining pollen, which sounds desperately unpleasant for him, how was he otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, he's never dynamite in press conferences, Kelly, but his golf, his golf is dynamite and has been at the Masters. I mean, it's funny you mention, the pollen, a couple of questions he was asked was, you are sounding quite bunged up, and how are you feeling? And I think the top line I picked out of it, and I'm saying this very much tongue-in-cheek, the sniffles aren't going to stop me this week, says Scotty Scheffler ahead of Masters defence. But no, that's not going to stop him. I think the other ominous thing that I picked out there, Kelly, just that he said, and Trish was talking about his sort of, compared to last year, when he won a couple of big tournaments coming into the Masters, he's not quite been in the same form this year. But he said in that press conference there, I feel very prepared for this tournament. I'm the most prepared I've been all season. So I think he feels his game is in good shape coming into this week. And that is ominous if you're any other player in this field.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Trish. Make sure you're taking your antihistamines. That Alistair Brisball and Trish Johnson, part of our huge team that's over at the Masters, and there's full coverage of what could be a really special tournament, the 89th Masters, from Thursday night on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. Tomorrow night on 5 Live, we're going to switch our focus from Arsenal at the Emirates to Paris for PSG against Aston Villa in their Champions League quarter-final first leg. Unai Emery would love for the ties still to be in the balance when they return to the Midlands next week. In the City of Love for us tonight, it is John Murray. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Kelly. Yes, I can take Ali and Trish as Augusta, and I can give you Paris in the springtime, where the weather has been glorious today. Sunshine, and I'm in a little bistro here with red and white checked tablecloths, and I'm just waiting for some delicious French cuisine to be brought to me. And I'm very much looking forward also to what might be a delicious match between Paris Saint-Germain and Aston Villa. And what I would say is, this has got, you know how long we've been doing these things, these Champions League ties in the latter stages of this competition. And very often, of course, we are with the big English clubs. But this feels, to be here with Aston Villa for a match like this just makes it feel completely different. As you know, they're in this competition for the first time for 42 years this season, and they're in the quarter-finals, and they've got a real match over the course of tomorrow night and next week at Villa Park, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how that one unfolds. It may be the City of Love, John, but it looks like Emi Martinez didn't quite get the memo. No love lost.
No, and this is going to be, it's probably all over the media right now. It will be in the morning as well. Emi Martinez, who's got his own personal history with France, as we know, beat them in the World Cup final, and that has spilled over. Remember as well the European tie against Lille last season, which went to that extraordinary penalty shootout where he was public enemy number one. Well, what did he do today? When they left for France, Emi Martinez came out into the sunshine wearing a baseball cap which had on it a French cockerel, but also a badge with an Argentina flag that featured the trophies that have been won by Argentina with him in the team. Inflammatory is what I would call that. Is it wise? I'm not sure.
But also, is it funny? And the answer is yes, it's funny.
It's funny, but I'm not sure our French hosts will be laughing their heads off tonight.
Maybe not. John Murray, thank you very much for joining us. Really looking forward to that one. PSG against Aston Villa in the Champions League quarter-final. Let's get the very latest on Northern Ireland's game. Nicola McCarthy.
Yes, all over in Belfast, Kelly, where I have to say the weather's been pretty decent today as well. It's finished 1-0 to Northern Ireland against Romania. That's Northern Ireland's second win of this Nations League campaign. A memorable first half goal for international 21-year-old Casey Weir. Her first international goal, her strike, the difference between the two sides tonight. Full time in Belfast, Northern Ireland 1, Romania 0.
Nicola, thank you very much. All to play for at the Emirates, where it's Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 0, as we're about to head into the second half of their Champions League quarter-final first leg with Matthew Upson and Ian Dennis.
And I noticed the reference to City of Love in Paris. Well, here we are in London town, waiting for the second half for Arsenal against Real Madrid. The Arsenal players are already out. They've not made a change, so I can give you the Arsenal team. Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Kivior and Lewis Skelly, Ødegaard, Rice and Partey, Saka, Merino and Martinelli. And then we wait for Real Madrid to appear as Carlo Ancelotti is, here comes the referee, is out and down in his dugout already, whether to see whether he will make a change for the European champions. 2009, by the way, that the last time that Arsenal reached the semi-final when they were beaten by Manchester United. Since then, Real Madrid have reached 12 semi-finals and they've won the competition 6 times.
Yeah, they know what they're doing at this level. You wonder if they know what they're doing here. Just stalling, coming out. Arsenal out very early. Ancelotti out, looking. I mean, he never looks phased, does he? Let's face it. He doesn't look like he's you know, that there's any kind of rush or situation or pressure on him at all. But Madrid now out on the pitch all together. Let's see what they can produce in this second half, whether or not they can take the game a little bit more to Arsenal, or whether Arsenal can continue this good performance in this fixture.
And they've made no alterations. So Courtois is in goal. Valverde, Rudiger, Asensio and Alaba as Arsenal get the game restarted. That's the defence. Bellingham, Modric and Camavinga in the midfield. Rodrigo, Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. They are all in grey, and Real Madrid are playing from left to right as we look in this second half as the supporters file past us from our commentary position low down here tonight at the back of the press box. 0-0. Remember, Bayern 0 into 1 is a latest score in the other quarter-final, and you've just heard from John Murray at half-time. Tomorrow night, live for that game, Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa, and we will stay in France for Thursday night, Lyon against Manchester United in the Europa League quarter-final first leg. Rice runs forward, left-hand side of the penalty area, onto his right foot, the cross hits the head of Merino. Camavinga will lift it in the air. Saka then controls it, back in possession for Arsenal. Partey hits it early, hits it hard, hits it low, and it goes through to Courtois. And don't forget, the US Masters begins on Thursday too. Day 1 coverage from 8 o'clock on Sports Extra, and then we can look forward to 5 Live's coverage from 8:30 to 10 on 5 Live, but full coverage on Sports Extra, and then rounds 3 and 4 on 5 Live on Saturday and Sunday night live from Augusta. Tonight, 5 Live final score is available, the iPlayer, the red button, the BBC Sport website and app, and there's been a goal at Huddersfield in League One. Nikesh Regani.
And it has gone to the visitors, Wickham, and it's been coming for a little while now. Richard Kone with a smart ball to the left of the area to Daniel Udo, who struck first time with his left foot into the far corner. It's Huddersfield 0, Wickham 1.
Other latest scores in that division: Shrewsbury 1, Reading 2, Exeter 0, Wigan 1. Preston 1, Cardiff 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Blackburn have got a goal back. Blackburn 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Bristol City 1, West Bromwich Albion 1 is now a latest score, because West Brom have got an equaliser, and Leyton Orient are leading 2-1 at Field Mill against Mansfield in League 1. Timber on defensive duties, the Arsenal right back. Back it goes to David Raya 2 minutes into the second half, and I think more or less everybody now has taken to their seats around us.
Thankfully, because it's a bit tricky actually seeing the pitch, isn't it, when the walkways are filled up with people coming back and forth and getting to their seat, but not too much happened in the start of the second. I mean, Arsenal put the ball in very early for Merino, and when you have him in the box, you may as well stick it in there, because for me his biggest attribute as a centre forward is his heading ability. I think he gets up really well, punches the ball, gets good accuracy on his headers. So if he can put a delivery in and get him to challenge either Rudiger or Asensio in the air, I think that's going to really test them.
Here is Kivior. Back it goes to Saliba. Across the back line to that far side, the right. Timber. Arsenal supporters are trying to do their bit as well. Here come the red and white scarves being swirled around their heads. Some of the supporters rise to their feet as well. There's Timber on the halfway line. Plays it back to Saliba. Another goal in Belgium, Flo Pollock.
England have another goal back. Michelle Adjiman on her first ever game for England, her first ever goal. Belgium 3, England 2. England trying to get back in this.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. 0-0 here in the Champions League quarter-final. Merino out towards Martinelli, on his toes, runs forward, left-hand side of the area, left-footed cross, it's deep and it curls out of play and didn't get a touch on its way through. It will be a goal kick. Mansfield Town are now back level as well. Mansfield 2, Leyton Orient 2. But remember, Birmingham City, the leaders, are 2-1 up at Peterborough United, and that will mean that they are promoted back into the Championship tonight. Mikel Arteta talked yesterday about creating their own story. That banner that greeted the two teams earlier on, make it happen. Still waiting for something to happen, as Lewis Skelly does well, leans into Rodrigo, wins the duel, up towards Merino. Modric does enough, does he? Got the ball. It was an important challenge because Arsenal could have been set away there by the Spanish international.
It was a good decision from the referee, actually. It looked like he just got a piece of the ball there, Modric. He was the wrong side of Merino, but I think his left foot just got through enough to poke the ball away before he made the tackle.
Remember that Raheem Sterling, who's actually going through the longest drought of his club career, he's suspended tonight, so I'm looking at attacking options on the bench for Arsenal, and really you're looking at either Trossard or Nwaneri.
Yeah.
A couple of youngsters on there in Butler, Oyedeji and Jimmy Gower. Be a lot to ask them to come on though against the 15 times European champions and Carlo Ancelotti. Well, there is actual talk that he might leave at the end of the season as Bellingham with a layoff and Mbappe is in here and the angle is tight and he hits the side netting, left-footed. Some of the Real Madrid supporters on that far side were maybe thinking that the net was about to bulge. All it was the ripple of the side netting.
It is deceiving, isn't it, when you've got that angle and you see the net ripple like that. You think the ball's hit the back of the net, but it hit the side of the net. Angle was tight on the left-hand side. Saliba was across, just narrowing that angle. Very tough position to score from, even for some of Mbappe's calibre.
So bearing in mind it's been a tight contest, for you, Matt, do you think Arsenal have to take an advantage to Madrid next week?
Of course it would be helpful, but I don't think you have to. No. I think that, maybe it being poised at 0-0 might not be a bad thing. They'll go there, they'll play a different type of game, you'd assume, away from home. And then it's all down to Madrid. The pressure's all on Real Madrid at that point at home to win the tie.
That's the voice of Matthew Upson, the former England international defender, as Saka passes the ball in. Ødegaard, right-hand side, tried to nick it into the inside right channel for the on-rushing Bukayo Saka. But now Bellingham will stride and bring the ball clear. And ahead of him he's got Vinicius Junior, who will run at real pace over on that far side, the left corner of the area. Mbappe is available. Here he is central, just outside the D. Helps it on its way towards Rodrigo, but Arsenal now have got so many red and white shirts back behind the ball. Modric looking to turn, being booed because of those Tottenham connections, of course. 7 minutes into the second half as the temperature just starts to drop a little bit now in North London.
I think that's the situation where Merino being in the team, while he's not quite giving you that centre-forward dynamic aspect, when they're on the counter as a midfield player, he didn't have to drop back into the hole early and put Mbappe under pressure. It was really good instinct from him just to get into the space and stop Mbappe from really driving with the ball.
Modric, Rudiger, Mbappe out towards that far side, and then Alaba will pass it back to Modric, who's now just inside the centre circle of the Arsenal half. And again, Arsenal have got everybody back behind the ball. It is tight and it is tense at the Emirates here on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Camavinga, sprightly, out now to Vinicius Junior. Speedy, accelerates, cross from Alaba, swings it over, well caught by David Raya. He's kept 5 clean sheets in his 9 Champions League games. Well, he caught the ball, he's looked to try and release it early, and then Camavinga has gone down on the far side, and the referee has stopped play, and a yellow card has been shown to Thomas Partey.
Well, it's hard to really see why Camavinga is on the floor. I mean, there's a collision, a bit of a bump into Thomas Partey, his shoulder in the build-up to that cross coming into the box. It does kind of, edge into the side of the face of Camavinga, but it's not a bad impact. I think he's made the most of it. And for the referee to stop the play when Arsenal and David Raya has caught the ball, and they have been good in those moments, Arsenal. When Raya's come out and claimed the ball, he's really fizzed it forward quickly because Real Madrid are committed. They've got players forward, they're on the attack, and that's when Arsenal can really hit them back. So the frustration was there from Arsenal when Partey picked up his yellow card, just letting the referee know.
Wigan Athletic, who are only 6 points clear of the relegation zone in League One, they're yet to win since Ryan Lowe took charge, have been pegged back at Exeter. Exeter City 1, Wigan Athletic 1. Cardiff City remain in trouble, incidentally, in the Championship. Chris Preston are back in front. Preston North End 2, Cardiff City 1 is a latest score. 10 minutes into the second half, it remains 0-0 between Arsenal and Real Madrid. Saliba into the centre circle, goes to his left. Kivior stops short of the halfway line, and back it goes then to Saliba. Real Madrid, grey shirts have dropped off Arsenal. Timber. Lewis Skelly again has gone into that inverted role, very, very central from left back. Here is Thomas Partey. Lewis Skelly is an option. Instead it comes towards Kivior. As a result of Lewis Skelly, he takes Rodrigo with him. As Rice to Martinelli, left-hand side, level the area. Lewis Skelly to Declan Rice. And Asensio saw the danger early, and he went to clear it, took a deflection on its way, and it's gone behind. And is it a throw for Arsenal? But there's Asensio. Has got one in the face.
Yeah, really ricocheted off of him. He comes out full steam from centre-back position. Rice dangles his leg in, but the ball spins up. He really tries to smash the ball away. Kicks through Declan Rice's right foot as well. He gets a bump on the foot. He's no nonsense, Asensio, for a centre-back, isn't he? I mean, I've been really impressed with him in this game, the young 22-year-old for Real Madrid. He's had a very solid game, but he does enjoy defending. He comes out, and when he deals with the ball, he really puts his foot through it.
He saw the danger early, and he reacted to it. Arsenal from the throw on the left-hand side. Lewis Skelly. Back then to Kivior. Kivior back. Left of the centre circle. Saliba to Timber. Along the ground. Opens it up to the other side now. That far side, the right. And coming in field is Saka, and still running inside is Saka. He's 25 yards out from goal. The referee will give a free kick, direct free kick, and ironic cheers from the Arsenal supporters because the Bosnian referee, Irfan Pielto, has given a decision in their favour, 0-0.
Yeah, Alaba just has too much of a nibble at this ball. Saka not really going anywhere, coming square inside the pitch, and Alaba just clips him, sticks his left foot across to try and tow it away, misses the ball and trips Saka and gives away a free kick in a really interesting position.
Mansfield Town 2, Leyton Orient 3, Shrewsbury 1, Reading 3 are latest scores in League One. So 57 minutes played.
I mean, you just mentioned the Arsenal bench. I mean, he's not going to play 90 minutes, Saka, is he? You wouldn't have thought.
You wouldn't have thought
no.
So.
I think that would be a big risk, even though with the magnitude of this game, that would be a huge risk. And both of the best moments in terms of creating goal-scoring opportunities, has to be said, have come from him, haven't they? Getting crosses in, getting to the byline, whipping it across.
Ethan Nwaneri would be somebody who you would think would come on at some stage, but Saka takes 3 or 4 meaningful strides back for this free kick. It is fractionally right of centre. It's less than 30 yards out from goal. However, it's Declan Rice who hits it. Oh, and doesn't he hit it? Oh, yes, he hits it. It's a terrific strike. The banner said, make it happen, and Declan Rice has done exactly that. What a direct free kick, right-footed, gave the keeper no chance, and Arsenal lead Real Madrid by a goal to 0.
Oh, what a hit from Declan Rice. That is how to take a free kick. Everyone, I think, in the stadium, including Courtois, expecting Saka with his left foot lining this one up, and just the way Declan Rice approaches this ball, he runs at it first. Whether or not they're thinking he's going to just go over it and then Saka hits it, I'm not sure if Courtois is really ready, but it is absolute precision, and the beauty of it being on his right foot, he's able to bend it around the outside of the wall that probably isn't quite wide enough for a right footer, and he just hits it with so much power. It's an inch inside the post. Perfect hit, perfect position. What a goal from Declan Rice.
It had the curl, it had the bend, it went round the 4-man wall. It was a super effort by Declan Rice, who I actually thought there has won the ball against Luka Modric. Some strange decisions by our Bosnian referee tonight, but Arsenal are leading by a goal to 0. Now, can they keep a 6th clean sheet in this Champions League campaign to give them something valuable to take to Madrid next week? But they are leading by a goal to 0. Raucous noise inside the Emirates.
Well, when I was looking at that, where that free kick was, and looking at the players standing over it, in the back of my mind I was thinking it's going to have to be something really special to beat Courtois from that angle and from that distance. Well, didn't Declan Rice just step up and deliver something that was very much a special moment? Brilliant free kick from him.
Important game down at the bottom of the Championship, and Stoke City have just taken the lead at home to Luton Town. So Stoke 1, Luton Town 0. But Arsenal are leading by a goal to 0, and we've been playing now for nearly an hour. But it's Vinicius Junior on that far side, the left. His cross blocked and behind for a corner kick by an enter. That's Faruqi.
We played an hour. Neither manager has made a change, but the goal scorer into Captain Martinez with another good chance. Feels like there could be more goals in this. Still by 0 into 1.
And 1-0 to Arsenal. Real Madrid have got a corner kick. Roberto Carlos is actually here watching on. It's that type of free kick that he would have been proud of. But it's a corner kick. They've got to do some defending now. Modric to take it. In it goes. And caught by David Raya from the flick header. Chesterfield have equalised at home to Gillingham 1-1. Raya, underarm throw out. Merino looks to go long towards Martinelli. Martinelli's away. Valverde, the right back, will pass the ball back towards Courtois and gets it away from underneath his feet and clears it long downfield. And all of a sudden this game has just gone up a notch.
Oh, great reading of the game from Valverde, because Martinelli wanted the ball in the space. I think he just knows it's going to get hooked in there, drops in early, uses his understanding and experience of the situation just to tidy it up. But I think this is the best tap from Arsenal, if I'm honest. You don't want to sit off at this point. You've got the momentum. Really now take the game to Real Madrid. See if you can get a second.
Ødegaard leaves it for Saka. Saka now teases his way to the edge of the area. Goes to the floor. Camavinga will run it clear for Real Madrid. Out towards Vinicius Junior. Lurking and now accelerating as Mbappe, but the ball is cut out easily by Saliba. Rice helps it on its way. Merino dropping a little bit deep now to Ødegaard, and Arsenal will just go through the various phases of the field and downfield in control, leading by a goal to 0. Here is Declan Rice along the ground, finds Ødegaard. Ødegaard out towards Saka, right corner of the area. Saka into the box he goes, wins a corner. Arsenal lead 1-0, corner kick far side the right.
Well, this place is absolutely bouncing, and a corner is a great opportunity for Arsenal. They're going to take their time, they're going to savour this little moment. They've got a bit of momentum and they're going to set this up. It's all about the delivery. It's Saka over the far side with his left foot. If the quality of delivery is there, this is going to be a difficult situation for Real Madrid to have to handle.
Well, Saka waits to take the corner kick far side the right. Crackling atmosphere inside the Emirates. Waits for the delivery. In it comes now. Courtois, that's a good claim. Two-handed above everybody's heads inside that crowded penalty area from the former Chelsea man. And Mikel Arteta, his team, Arsenal supporters, everybody rising to see what's required of them here tonight. But 63 minutes to go. There is still a lot of weight of football, and it's worth noting that Real Madrid have only failed to score once in 15 games since the start of February. That was against Atletico in the previous round of the Champions League. But Arsenal are protecting their own proud European record. They're unbeaten in 16 home UEFA games, going all the way back to 2021. Courtois wasn't aware of Arsenal's record in the Champions League, where they've not lost in the last 2 years here inside this stadium. It is turning into a fortress, and Arsenal do have a slender lead.
Well, it's interesting how little Jude Bellingham's really had an influence on this game with the ball for Real Madrid, and Arsenal have done a great job of stopping them getting into their rhythm, certainly through the midfield. It was a hot talking point before the game, but they've now got something to hang on to. Arsenal, it's got that feel about it, that they've got that goal, and now can they hang on to it or even build on it?
Real Madrid still looking to score their first goal against Arsenal. This is the third time that they've met them, but Vinicius Junior bursts into the penalty area. Rice, though, clears the ball away. And it goes out of play for a throw on that far side. And it's slow to come back from the Arsenal supporters as another ball is picked up off the cone by Alaba on that far side, the left to Rudiger. Now Rodrigo. Martinelli helping out Lewis Skelly. The winners of this tie will play the winners of Aston Villa, Paris Saint-Germain. The semi-final schedule will be communicated on the 17th of April. We'll have commentary in Paris tomorrow of that first leg. But Arsenal here are 1-0 up as Bellingham chips the ball in towards Mbappe. But again, David Raya quickly off his goal line. Worth reiterating, they're unbeaten in the first leg in all 7 of their previous Champions League quarter-finals. And they're leading now. A cacophony of noise at the Emirates Stadium. Lewis Skelly, short ball towards Thomas Partey. Asked you the question earlier about the fitness of Saka.
Yeah.
What do you do about Partey as well, bearing in mind he's on the yellow? Do you just have to show and keep faith?
Yeah, I think so. I think you trust him to manage the game. You know, will there be a moment where he makes a rash choice?
Here he is, his forward ball. Rice just couldn't take it in the stride. It was a lovely weighted pass too by Thomas Partey. He's having an outstanding game.
Well, I think Real Madrid are struggling to deal with that movement from midfield. There's 1 or 2 players, be it Rice or Odegaard, that are actually making really well-timed runs in and around the centre-backs, and I don't think anyone really knows whose responsibility is to go with them, and they're just finding little pockets every now and then if the pass is right.
Here is Thomas Partey, out to Saka on that far side, the right. He waits, actually comes to a standstill. Bellingham, his England colleague, is in front of him. They go back. Saliba. 1-0 to Arsenal. We're approaching the midway point of the second half. Kivior towards Rice. Helps it on its way to Martinelli. Valverde back pedal. Martinelli now towards Lewis Skelly. Back in field then to Kivior. Credit Kivior. Haven't really missed Gabriel tonight. Here is Rice to Lewis Skelly. He's doing well, still battling for it. Lewis Skelly to Martinelli! Save, rebound, blocks, comes to Merino! Saved again by Courtois! 3 bites they had at that, and Courtois was equal to it to tip it over the crossbar. Arsenal almost had a second.
What a ridiculous passage of play. I mean, the last save from Courtois is some reaction. Arsenal fiddle it through in the box. I mean, that is on the line. It's a defending player on the line. The first save from Courtois is parried away. Now I think it's David Alaba who's on the line as Mourinho pings it with his left foot. He makes a brilliant goal line clearance with his left foot. Saves a certain goal. Back to Merino, chests it down. He's got a bit of the time. He just strikes it cleanly with the left foot, and Courtois tips it over the crossbar. What a piece of goalkeeping.
In comes the corner, and then that one's cleared away as well, as it was played back in low. I think it might have been from Declan Rice. He hit it low, left-footed. The keeper made the save. Jude Bellingham, I think it was, behind him, who made the clearance for that goal-bound shot. Arsenal are knocking at the door. They've upped the ante of Arsenal. Saka was caught. Referee will play the advantage. No, he won't. He'll bring it back for a free kick. But Saka's in pain. Saka's in pain. Free kick to Arsenal. They lead by a goal to 0. We're going to Belgium. Flo Pollock.
England have fallen to defeat. Belgium 3, England 2, despite that stunning goal. Debut goal for Mikel Merino. Full time here. Belgium 3, England 2.
It was Camavinga just catching Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I didn't like the way he banged the turf there for a moment, Saka. And it's Bellingham in that chance a moment ago. Rice with his left foot steering it into the corner. The ball's past Courtois, and Bellingham standing behind him, doing the job on the line, clearing it away. Real Madrid absolutely hanging on here at the moment at the Emirates, and Arsenal are in a brilliant vein of confidence and form and rhythm. We've got Merino laying on the floor. He looks in a bad condition. Saka's back up on his feet. Hopefully he can shake it off, because I tell you what, they've got to try and capitalise on this situation, because Madrid are rocked. They're completely rocked at the moment, and Arsenal have to keep the pressure high.
There was another Arsenal player down. It was Merino actually inside the penalty area. I was focusing purely on Saka, but Merino, I think, has possibly been winded. He's just on his haunches at the moment. But a direct free kick it will be to Arsenal, who lead by 1-0, and they have been terrific second half.
Yeah. Who's on this free kick?
Well,
surely Rice has got to have this one as well, hasn't he?
I mean,
you think it's further out. It favours a right footer more.
It's probably a little bit more in field as well, more central, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not too dissimilar from the distance where he did score.
No.
The only goal of the game so far.
It's just the other side of the 18-yard box, and I think everyone expected Saka on the first one, didn't they? I mean, it was lined up. It was a left footer side.
Ødegaard or Rice. Arsenal lead 1-0. Declan Rice runs now, hits it right footed. Oh! Rice, baby! Oh my word! Two absolute belters! Right footed, top right hand corner. Arsenal lead Real Madrid by 2-0.
Unbelievable. I don't think anyone expected that to happen. I mean, why not? Because the first one was an absolute screamer, and you think he can't beat that. He can't hit a better free kick than the first one. In fact, I didn't even know if he was going to take it. What a swagger he has about him, Declan Rice. I have to say, the confidence that this lad has in himself is absolutely top draw. This free kick is absolutely superb. It has bend, it has power. I'm not too sure about the wall. I have to say there's big question marks over the setup of Real Madrid and Courtois, but nonetheless this is a cleanly hit free kick that is just about 6 inches below the crossbar, next to the post, in the postage stamp of the top corner of the net. The Emirates Stadium cannot believe, the supporters around us, Deno, were just off their seats running around the aisles. What a brilliant double free kick special from Declan Rice.
Well, you say the postage stamp. In Denmark, they would say that is the Frimærket, right in the corner. And there's a gentleman, he's still getting his breath back now. I'm actually a little bit concerned for him. But I watched him mouth. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's actually leaning back on his chair. He's expended that much energy. But Declan Rice with two absolute beauties. And all of a sudden now Arsenal lead the European champions by 2-0. They've made a change, incidentally. Camavinga looks forward. Alaba heads the ball, caught by David Raya.
I mean,
Luka Modric has gone off the field of play. Lucas Vazquez has come on to replace him in the centre of midfield. And there's an Arsenal player down, and it is Bukayo Saka. Whilst there is a stoppage here, I can tell you that Malumbi's been sent off for West Bromwich Albion. West Bromwich Albion still drawing 1-1. Blackburn 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2 is the latest score. So Blackburn have got an equaliser at Ewood, and we'll get an update from Middlesbrough with Rob Law.
Middlesbrough nil, Leeds 1. Joel Piroux, Dan James have both had chances to extend the lead for Leeds at the start of the second half. Middlesbrough asking questions themselves. A captivating game. 73 minutes gone. Middlesbrough nil, Leeds 1.
So the Leeds United still leading, going top because Burnley drawing at Derby. Ladies from Sheffield United, Millwall, Tom Gale.
Sheffield United nil, Millwall 1. We're in the 90th minute. Visitors' advantage almost doubled by an own goal from Michael Cooper. The Blades keeper has passed inches wide of the post. Sheffield United nil, Millwall 1.
And we can check in on this morning's leaders, Burnley with Lee Blakeman at Derby.
Derby nil, Burnley nil, but Derby have just nearly won it. Ball across the face of goal. Clark with a header, wide from 3 yards into 8 minutes of added time. Derby nil, Burnley nil.
And our Birmingham on course to the championship, Nathan Albert.
Very much on course, Ian. Someone somewhere preparing the fizz, no doubt. Still Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2. Birmingham, if anything, looking for more goals. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2 into stoppage time.
And could Wickham get a valuable 3 points on the road? Nikesh Rugani.
Well, it's still Huddersfield nil, Wickham 1. We're into the last minute here. Wickham looking to go within 3 points of second place Wrexham. That goal from Daniel Udo the difference. Huddersfield nil, Wickham 1.
Trossard has come on to replace Bukayo Saka. 16 minutes remain. It's been a monumental night in North London, and Arsenal are leading Real Madrid by 2-0. They have only lost the first leg in one of their last 14 Champions League quarter-finals. have Real Madrid. That was against Wolfsburg in 2016. They lost the away leg 2-0. They won the return 3-0 and went on to win the final. As Bukayo Saka, not walking freely, is hobbling his way towards the tunnel area. But Rice, on a hat-trick, storms forward, out towards Trossard. Trossard left side, back towards Luis Skelly. Hit by Merino! Mikel Merino! Delirium inside the Emirates! First time, left-footed effort, finds the bottom left-hand corner. The European champions are reeling. Real Madrid are 3-0 down. And Arsenal now have more than a healthy cushion to take the Spanish capital.
Wow. This place is going off. It really is. Supporters around us cannot believe it. I don't think Real Madrid can believe it. There is a swagger in Arsenal's play. I was just watching the game and I was thinking, there's just an unbelievable feel around what Arsenal are doing at the moment. Just the rhythm they're in, the confidence, the way Declan Rice drove forwards with the ball to create the situation. I mean, he has been immense in this second half of the game. Drives in, draws 3 players towards him, offloads the ball into Merino from the cross, and the way he hits it. I mean, we're complaining that Arsenal haven't had a centre-forward on the pitch. Well, any centre-forward in world football would be happy with that left-foot finish. I have to say, it is fizzing across the turf. He's under pressure from Rudiger with his left foot. He just guides that ball. Bang! First time into the bottom corner. Courtois, absolutely no chance. Arsenal, the rhythm they're in at the moment and the confidence is sky high.
Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0, 14 minutes remaining. They're making a mockery of the supercomputer. The supercomputer said it would only be marginal.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Deno computer said as well. Making a mockery of that, which is even more astounding.
Cardiff City have got an equaliser at Preston North End, it's 2-2. Luton Town have got an injury time equaliser at Stoke. Stoke 1, Luton 1. It's finished, Norwich 0, Sunderland 0. Sunderland 4. But Arsenal here, 3-0 up against Real Madrid. Are you Tottenham in disguise? Is the chant from the Arsenal supporters. Yeah. Here is Trossard. The way that Arsenal are playing, though, yeah, they fancy another one.
They do, and it feels, and I have to say, the way that Real Madrid are playing, you fancy that's a possibility. That they've just collapsed in this second half. They cannot get to grips with this game whatsoever. I mean, I'm taking nothing away from Declan Rice's free kicks, but there was something about the setup of that second one. It just didn't look right to me. It was just too easy for... I mean, whether or not there'd been any wall or any goalkeeper could have saved that free kick was just unbelievable from Declan, but it just hasn't felt a well put together team that Real Madrid have put out here in the second half.
Now Vinicius Junior latches onto a ball on that left-hand side. Vinicius Junior cuts into the penalty area, edge of the area, comes away from goal. Mbappe scoops it up in the air. But there, back was Ødegaard, and Ødegaard was being pulled back by Bellingham. Free kick to Arsenal as we go to Peterborough and Nathan Albert.
The away end is bouncing. You can bang out the bubbly. Birmingham are championship bound. 6 games left, but the promotion party can begin. 2-1 winners here at Peterborough. Back in the second tier, the first time of asking. Peterborough 1, Birmingham 2.
And those two sides actually play each other at the weekend in the EFL Trophy final, where Birmingham will be backed by somewhere in the region of 43,000 fans at Wembley. And Bristol City have got an injury time winner, I would suspect, at Ashton Gate in the Championship. Bristol City 2, West Bromwich Albion 1 is the latest score. As here, Real Madrid are going to make another change. Fran Garcia is going to be coming on, and David Alaba unable to continue at left back. So this 25-year-old defender who's been at the club for 10 years, he's come up through the academy, coming on at left back.
I mean, from Real Madrid's perspective, you're looking at the clock, you're thinking, what, we've got 15 minutes left of this game roughly, 12 minutes, and then 3, 4, 5 minutes of injury time. Can we get a goal just to bring ourselves back in this tie to a 2-goal deficit and bring it home? Because You know, they've been absolutely played off the park in this second half.
Declan Rice is coming off, and he is getting a standing ovation, and no wonder, because his 2 free kicks will be shown time and time and time again. But his general performance, he has been marvellous against Real Madrid as Kieran Tierney comes on to replace the England international. Full-time at Huddersfield, Nikesh Regani.
Where it's finished, Huddersfield 0, Wickham 1. Daniel Udo's goal enough to earn Wickham a first win in 3. Both sides had their chances in the second half, but Mike Dodd's side holding on to go within 3 points of Wrexham in second place. Huddersfield 0, Wickham 1.
Wickham 3 points then behind Wrexham. That was their game in hand. Arsenal are leading by 3-0, and we've got 10 minutes to go of normal time.
Interesting changes. I mean, just to give a feel of the team, I mean, Trossard came on, went on the left-hand side. Martinelli went over to Saka's position, and now Tierney's come onto the pitch on the left-hand side. I think Lewis Skelly has just gone into midfield, hasn't he, in position of Declan Rice. You've got a midfield 3 now of Partey, Odegaard and Skelly, with Tierney in the left-back position.
Lewis Skelly with a throw. Tierney will keep it down by the corner flag. All about now managing these next 9 minutes or whatever it is remaining, 9.5. For Arsenal, leading by 3-0. Sheffield United Millwall in the Championship. Tom Gale.
Full time, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. Boos on the whistle, back-to-back defeats as the Blades drop to third. Coburn's 21st minute winner moves Millwall to within 3 points of the playoffs. Full time, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
And full time at Derby, Lee Blakeman.
0-0, a draw fair on the balance of things. Clark could have won it at the end for Derby. Fleming had Burnley's best 2 chances, but it's ended Derby 0, Burnley 0.
So this is how the top of the Championship looks with 5 games left to play. Leeds United back top, 85 points. Burnley, 85 points. Leeds have a superior goal difference, and they are 2 points clear of Sheffield United. Sunderland are back in 4th on 76, and then Bristol City, Middlesbrough, Coventry, West Brom, Millwall, and maybe even Watford are all scrapping for playoff places. But what a night it has been here in North London. 8 minutes remain.
I mean, how must Mikel Arteta be feeling as well? Then, I mean, what an evening it is for him, pitching himself against the most decorated coach, or one of the most decorated coaches in world football. And how Arsenal have played, they've set up really well. Game plan's been good. To score 3 goals is beyond their dreams, really.
Rodrigo comes forward, Tierney goes to the ground, he was being pulled back by Rodrigo. The win for Arsenal is secure. 8 minutes to go, leading 3-0. However, in the dynamic, the wider picture of the tie, a goal for Real Madrid, it is imperative now that Arsenal keep the clean sheet.
Agreed. And that, all Madrid will be looking for is, can we just reduce this deficit by 1? The game's over in terms of Arsenal are going to win it, you'd feel, unless there's an unbelievable collapse, and that doesn't feel like it in the game. And I think that's the problem for Real Madrid at the moment. Arsenal, they're not showing that any creaks or cracks in what they're doing. They're actually being very solid. I mean, you've mentioned Kivior once, but he has been brilliant tonight.
Now Lewis Skelly and Bellingham have just got into a bit of a tangle. Odegaard comes forward, passes the ball to Martinelli now on the right. His cross takes a deflection and goes out of play for a corner kick. Bellingham and Lewis Skelly. I've got to say, I like that about Lewis Skelly.
Yeah.
He's not overawed.
No. And neither should he be. Jude Bellingham not happy. And he's having a little word with him now as he's walking over, he's chatting to the referee. I mean, I didn't see much in it. They're both on the floor. They're trying to get up. Lewis Skelly doesn't put any real pressure on his calf. I think Jude Bellingham's looking for something there from the referee that just isn't there at all.
Arsenal 3-0 up, corner kick far side the right. A fourth here would take them into dreamland. Far side the right, Odegaard to take it. In swinger, punched away by Courtois. Trossard lifts it up in the air, knocked, and then Rodrigo is caught. That'll be a free kick. Another goal in the other Champions League quarter-final. Maz Farouki.
Well, last week it was announced he's leaving at the end of the season after 25 years at Bayern, but Thomas Muller's got the equaliser with 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Bayern 1, Inter 1.
So level there in Germany. That's where the final will be held on Saturday the 31st of May, as Rodrigo has come off and coming on is Brahim Diaz, the former Manchester City player. Only made 15 appearances during his time at the Etihad. Had those 3 seasons on loan at Milan. 12 goals last season was his actual best scoring return, but he's struggled this time. So Brahim Diaz comes on. Arsenal are 3-0 up. 5 minutes remaining. Stunning night for the Gunners.
I mean, you'd say the game is more about how well Arsenal have done as opposed to Madrid being poor. Real being poor, you would have to say. I mean, it's been a little bit of a combination of both. I think Real Madrid started pretty well and showed their teeth on a few occasions, but Arsenal in this second half, have just blown them away.
They've bossed the second half, haven't they? Absolutely bossed it.
Agreed. Physically, with intensity on the ball, and have come up with those moments we were talking about in the first half that were just lacking. They've just produced them in the second half and has put themselves in a brilliant position.
Just been shown a tweet on the Match of the Day feed, actually. Declan Rice hadn't scored any direct free kicks, goals, in any of his previous 338 games for both West Ham and Arsenal, and he's hit 2 worldy free kicks in the Champions League.
What do they say about buses?
Yeah.
It's true to form, isn't it?
Oh, just a bit. He'll be dreaming of those 2 goals a game. I mean, he couldn't have hit them any better.
It's phenomenal stuff. It's Roy the Rover stuff, isn't it? Those kind of free kicks from that area. The first one, amazing. Everywhere, wow, But then to step up. I mean, it was barely any time between the 2. It wasn't long at all, was there? Between the 2 free kicks, and to step up and produce the same thing. The second one, he was totally relaxed. I saw the way that he addressed the ball. It was just like, stepped up on his toes. His body language was good, and just bang. Brilliant hit from him.
Partey back to Kivior. Raya has to get this away first time. Another example of how well Partey's played in the midfield. Trossard now is away and scampers clear on this near side, the left. Midway through the Real Madrid half, leading by 3-0. 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Lewis Skelly. Arsenal supporters are still embracing themselves around us here. It's one of those nights where they will just replay in their head and their mind and time again. Here is Trossard. Merino looks to go on ahead of him. Ødegaard with a little flick, almost came off. Another goal in Munich, that's Faruqi.
Bayern were level, but it looks like they've thrown it away right at the end. Substitute for Tessie, bundling in for Inter on the counter-attack. Couple of minutes left to go in this one. Bayern 1, Inter 2.
Thank you, Maz. We have got 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. 12 minutes, those 2 free kicks were apart, by the way.
So to step up 12 minutes later and go, yep, I'll have this one again. I mean, it makes sense he takes it again. You think you've just stuck one in the top corner. There you go, have another one. But to do it again at this level is pretty special for any player, let alone a player that hasn't scored a direct free kick in, how many games was it?
338.
38, there you go.
2 absolute gems. Again, Lewis Skelly just using, he's at times he's beyond his years, because there was a throw in. He's got an option to take it quickly. Brahim Diaz offers them the ball, he doesn't take it.
Yeah.
He goes down, collects another one off one of the small little white coats, just to eat up the valuable seconds.
I mean, just how he handled the Jude Bellingham thing there. He tried to get him in a little bit of trouble. He gets up, doesn't lose his cool, but he's got an air about him and a body language about him, as if to say, I don't care about you. Like I know what my job is. I'm doing my thing and I'm doing it well. And he kind of carries that on the pitch. It's a really, really good characteristic that he has.
This would be the perfect performance, the perfect scoreline to get 3 goals and a clean sheet. Not allowing Real Madrid back into the game. So much pressure is going to be on the European champions as Trossard goes on a weavy run, dropping back inside his own half. Kivior Can't go back to Raya. Clears it long towards Tierney. Tierney will give chase. Asensio with a back pass towards Courtois. Has to get rid of it clearly. Tierney's chasing it, harrying everything, and getting a standing ovation as a result. Kieran Tierney, who's leaving the club in the summer, but still giving it absolutely everything, as are every Arsenal player as we enter the last 30 seconds. What a performance this has been. Merino couldn't get there. Camavinga breaks it up. Valverde now passes the ball out towards that far side. Fran Garcia will scamper away with pace. Vinicius Junior cuts inside, shot. Takes a deflection and caught by Raya, and Raya gathers it and then drops to his knees.
Wow, I mean, at the moment Vinicius Junior comes inside to take that shot with his right foot, 3 Arsenal players flying towards him to get that block in. Timber gets the block in, but that is the hunger that Arsenal have played this game in, certainly the second half. The mentality has been standout from Arsenal. It's what's driven the result for me.
They said they wanted to create their own story. They've done that and some. Ben White's going to be coming on, and it's going to be for Timber, and Timber's actually going to leave the field of play on the other side. The other thing to note as well is that they had a number of players actually on yellow cards tonight. They've navigated that hurdle particularly well too. So Ben White, who played just over an hour against Everton at the weekend, will replace Timber. They've got Brentford here at the weekend. I would imagine that there'll be many changes for the visit of Thomas Frank's side. Because the priority is to keep those players fresh for the game at the Bernabeu next week.
It will. I mean, the only question mark for me is Saka didn't look that comfortable coming up. I mean, Saka does come off in quite a lot of games. The amount of kicks and bumps, just in the style and the fashion that he plays the game, he's always getting kicked up in the air and got ankle problems and knocks and bumps, but he didn't look particularly comfortable, did he, coming off, Saka? I think that would be the only thing that you'd have a little question mark over, but you know, if they carry a 3-goal lead, which it looks likely, what an opportunity to go and set your stall out and make yourself difficult to beat.
I'm told that Thomas Frank has been here tonight watching too, but even now there is no drop-off for that work ethic, the levels that Arsenal have played without the ball. They have chased, they've harried, they've hassled, they've been prepared to do the ugly side, and then they've produced 3 moments of quality. The 2 Rice free kicks, but equally the Merino first instinctive left-footed shot.
I would say that's as good as the free kicks in terms of quality. I mean, to finish with you on the left side, the ball was fired at him as well. Had loads of pace on it to control and deal with it. He just did it first time effortlessly.
Timber gets a standing ovation as he only now makes it way back to the dugout area here at the Emirates. You're listening to 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We're live tomorrow in Paris. We're live in Lyon on Thursday. We will be live next week in Madrid. Make no mistake about that. But in the 4 minutes of added on time, we've got 90 seconds remaining. And Arsenal have just not looked like conceding in this second half. They have played ever so well to a man. Here is Rudiger. Real Madrid know that 1 goal could still change the dynamic of the tie. They hit it long up towards Mbappe. Saliba goes towards Mbappe. Mbappe, left-hand side, tries to cut inside, looks for a shooting opportunity, can't get a sight of goal to Valverde, closed down by Trossard. Right corner of the area now. Vasquez with a cross, headed away by Lewis Skelly, helped further away by Martinelli. 40 seconds remain. Look at the watch on the left wrist of our Bosnian referee. Vinicius Junior level the penalty area left-hand side. Mbappe wants to do it himself. Mbappe into the penalty area, but loses his balance and goes to ground. And Saliba stands tall, stands calm and composed, passes the ball up towards Trossard. And there was a foul. And then Camavinga kicks the ball away. And Camavinga will be suspended. Camavinga, that's a yellow card that will... Oh, he's already been booked, of course. And he's off. Real Madrid will see out the game with 10 men. He was already going to be suspended. But Camavinga has been dismissed. and Real Madrid's misery is complete.
Oh, talk about lose your discipline. Right there is a prime example of that phrase, to be honest. I mean, Ancelotti looks the other way as he walks straight down the tunnel. Camavinga, it's just a head loss moment. The game's over. He's frustrated that the foul was given. It was a foul, and he just toe punched the ball out of play. Referee has nowhere to go with it, really, Deno, does he? He's got no option, and it's just a real lack of it. It's rounded off the evening for Madrid. It's certainly this second half.
By my watch, we are past the 4 minutes of added on time. Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. Not quite their heaviest defeat in European competition. They've lost 4-0 at Manchester City and Liverpool in recent years. However, they have been second best, and Arsenal go into the second leg in a commanding position. 3-0 is finished here at the Emirates. The perfect performance from Mikel Arteta's side. Matt Hobson.
Well, a night to remember. Certainly for Arsenal fans, certainly for Declan Rice, who single-handedly made the difference in this game, because I think putting those 2 free kicks in gave the team the confidence and the belief and the swagger to go on and just demolish Real Madrid in this second half of Champions League football. What a game to watch, what a game to experience, and what a lead to take to the Bernabeu next week. Arsenal in prime position here in this tie.
Arsenal absolutely superb, and the European champions have got so much work to do. It's finished here. Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. Kelly.
Deno, what's happening at the moment? Because it's a big win for Arsenal. It's a 3-0 victory against the European champions. But they're in a perfect position as they head to the Bernabeu next week. But they're still only halfway through it.
They are, but they've got themselves probably a scoreline that many Arsenal fans would only have dreamt about coming into this stadium tonight, as the Arsenal anthem, the Angel, reverberates around the Emirates. The red and white scarves are held aloft. They say about the streets are our own. This pitch here tonight was Arsenal's own, because they absolutely bossed it the second half. They didn't really give the European champions a sniff. 2 beauty free kicks from Declan Rice, absolute belters, and then Mikel Merino with an instinctive left-footed effort into the bottom left-hand corner. Camavinga sent off right at the end to compound the misery for Real Madrid. It's a dream scenario, Kelly, for Mikel Arteta.
No number 9, no problem, Matt Upson.
I knew that was coming. I absolutely knew it. We kind of said in the comms that, you know, a lot of criticism for Arsenal without the number 9, but wow, what a finish. What a finish from Merino on the swivel. It was not easy either, because the ball was travelling at some speed and it had a little kick up off the turf. It just bounced a tiny bit towards him to control it. He was leaning backwards as well to control it and guide it into the far post. It was just a brilliant finish. You know, technically as good as the free kicks, but the free kick moments were just star of the show. To step up and bang 2 in like that from Declan Rice was just incredible.
I've got to say, Kelly, as well, I know Peter, the DJ here at Arsenal, and he's now playing Rice Baby.
There's never a bad time for Vanilla Ice, but there probably couldn't be a better time for it for the Arsenal fans who are singing along at the Emirates. Matthew Upson and Ian Dennis are at the Emirates, taking it all in. Andros Townsend joins us as well. Andros, that second half performance, particularly from Arsenal, absolutely sealed the deal for them. What changed, do you think?
I think the first goal kind of allowed Arsenal to relax. They got the goal they needed. Second one followed soon after, and then they got in a rhythm. They started counter-attacking Real Madrid. Real Madrid started throwing players forward, and Arsenal started picking them off, and it was 3-0. It could have been a couple more in the end, and in that second half Real Madrid didn't really, I'm trying to think of a good chance that Real Madrid had. I don't think there was any, if any at all.
Yeah, they absolutely crumbled Real Madrid. We should talk about the opposition, and large credit for that has to go down to the way that Arsenal played, the impact of the 2 free kicks, 12 minutes between them to give Arsenal that 2-goal cushion, and then Merino adding to it. But Madrid just disappeared from the game.
Yeah, they had a couple. I think back in the first half, they had a couple of good moments through Jude Bellingham, his precision passing, but they didn't really make anything off it. And against Arsenal, if you don't sort of attack quick and score quick, they get men back so quickly that it's so difficult to score in that second phase. And Real Madrid will come in unstuck in that sense, and then they just stopped creating. They didn't really create anything, and it was quite comfortable for Arsenal in that second half in the end.
And Matt, Arsenal almost there. They've got the return leg at the Bernabeu, but they've got a 3-goal cushion now, and they might well be on their way to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's a tad too early to kind of be talking in that way for me. I mean, Real Madrid have been in situations probably nearly as dire or even worse than this before and managed to find a solution. So if there's any team at home that are going to turn this around, it's going to be Real Madrid. Whether or not they'll be capable, we'll have to wait and see. But Arsenal should take so much belief, so much confidence about how strong this group is as a team, as a unit, the attitude and work rate that you could really sense and feel and sample from being in the ground. It had a real intensity about it. It had a belief about it, and I think that's what drove the result, to be honest. You know, tactically was great. Load of players played well individually, but it just had a feel of a team with that kind of confidence, which is what you need when you're going to go away from home to a difficult place to play.
So much confidence from that Arsenal lineup. And Peter the DJ is bringing out all the hits, Deno.
All we're missing now is Deacon Blue.
They've got, I think this is the Mikel Merino song, isn't it, that the Arsenal fans sing. But look, that's what I was sort of hinting at earlier, is it's difficult for the players because they're going to have to come out now and say, well, you know, it was really good, but job done, and we go again at the Bernabeu. The fans, though, particularly the home leg, the fans can properly celebrate this one.
Oh yes, very much so. And I think Mikel Arteta, he talked yesterday, hadn't he, about saying he wanted the supporters to play their part. And I think every Arsenal fan that came into the stadium tonight had so much energy and so much vocal support. They helped create what is turning into a fortress. That's 17 games unbeaten now at home in UEFA competition since they lost to Olympiacos in 2021 in the Europa League. So the supporters have played their bit. I'm trying to think, they've got the allocation next week of 3,875. There might be a few more who might be looking to try and make their way out to Madrid. But listen, they've given themselves the perfect platform.
Have you seen Arsenal fans celebrate like that in front of you when sat here before? I'm not sure if I had.
No.
I think they just enjoyed that second half of football. They enjoyed it to the maximum, and rightly so. You're right, Kelly, the players, they have to play it down, but the supporters certainly didn't do that around us.
Matthew Upson and Ian Dennis with us from the Emirates. Andros Townsend also here as well, and we'll be reflecting on Arsenal's 3-0 victory against the European champions Real Madrid in their quarter-final first leg of the Champions League. We'll be doing all of that between now and 10:30.